This movie, Evolution, would probably be illegal to show in Texas schools. And yet, I did it for extra credit in my seventh grade science class. Actually, I mainly just did it for yucks. I was learning claymation and stop motion. And I guess there was some script for this where I did the voice of this narrator, Mr. Intelligent or whatever, cross-eyed blob, and he's going to tell us all about evolution, which of course gives a kid an excuse to have some dinosaurs. Oh, but there's also this ridiculous thing comes walking through, and he throws his stick at it. Okay, let's get back to the class. I think that was supposed to be a selenite from First Men on the Moon, another movie I didn't finish. Well, let's look at this Time Life book that shows, called Evolution, that shows the early planet Earth, a boiling mass of lava, which we hope to restore it to someday, make the world natural like it used to be again. And life appears, protozoa, little microbes that eat each other forever. I never would have believed how into those things I would later get, about 50 years later. And then there's bugs. See, we've got bugs that came out on land from my creepy crawler set. Oh, here's Professor Lightbulb. He'll help show us what is what. That probably would have been my brother Pinkney's voice, I suppose. There's a frog, that's an amphibian, there's the arachnid, and there's millipedes, and there's worms, segmented worms, and it's life. See, it's all evolution. And and here Professor Lightbulb drinks some milk, and then, well, he fills it up and then drinks it. And then this surreal stuff goes by. Crazed car monsters, hot rod monsters, my dinosaur skeleton model kit collection. Nice paint job on the base. Boy, I'd give anything to have those model kits again. Shut up, Buddy. Buddy never did evolve. Come on, Buddy, over here. He's explaining something about the vertebra of the brontosaurus, and here's a skeleton of a man, to show how big a stegosaurus was. Uh, Kids in 1967 had not seen Jurassic Park, and some kids had never heard of evolution or didn't understand that dinosaurs were real at one time but not anymore, and it was a long time ago because they see movies like this, uh, Gamera, or whatever this monster movie is. No, it's not Gamera. I forget who that is. But they're not like that. They lived a long time ago, and they aren't fighting Japanese soldiers anymore until Jurassic Park 8 comes out. And Professor Lightbulb, I believe that was John Kennedy's rocking chair. There's a little model kit of John Kennedy. You'll see him later. I have no idea why. Oh, Professor Lightbulb, I guess, is explaining what life was like in the days of the dinosaurs. And of course, here's the complete, really cool Mark's Dinosaur World set. More crazy stuff happens. An unknown species of dinosaur, but he's running away from it now through that weird little set. You could see the animator's hands for a few seconds. I have no idea what's going on here. I don't think anyone is supposed to. I threw in these surreal moments just for yucks. I, I guess I've been guilty of that my whole life. Here's some terrible animation of dinosaurs. Didn't even go to the trouble of putting toothpicks in this Tyrannosaurus's mouth. Painted some slobber on. Uh, just really rudimentary. I was not trying very hard. You can see that harsh light on these things. That's from those movie lights back in the day. I'm surprised the clay didn't all just melt. In fact, you could only work for a little while at a time before the clay would start getting slick. Ah, man, it was always an excuse to paint blood on your monsters. And there's a snake that had toothpick teeth and eggs, but I don't know what he was doing there. This is a really disconnected movie. Bubbles are animating through the air just to see what that would look like. I guess this was experimental, you might say, or maybe just mental. Mastodon skeleton that appears and disappears. There's the skeleton again, and then an elephant covered with crepe hair, monster makeup, fake hair glued onto that poor toy elephant. Those toys were really well done. Well, I guess there's good ones now too. And then I had yet to understand the close-up filter or tripod pans or tilts or any of that stuff. It's all handheld. And I eventually learned how to compensate for the parallax in the viewfinder. There's a nice little plaster skull. I guess this is to show how different humans were from prehistoric humans, and started out as these ape-like creatures and then became naked, big naked people with blurs at their crotches. Blurry crotch man, they called him. There's this Starwood Speakers Gallery. And then it just goes completely insane. Makes no sense. It's just showing off every model kit that I had. The hot rod monsters, the caveman, Neanderthal man, who looks like somebody I know, come to think of it. And G.I. Joe gets in. Oh, here, I think Kennedy is going to come by, half of Kennedy. Here's the other half of Kennedy. I think we're closing in on the ending. And so, the amazing world of the future, when the world will eventually, the sun will burn out and the earth will become a frozen, lifeless, horrible mass. And that's what you kids in 7th grade here have to look forward to in the wonderful wide world of evolution. From Smith Films. Smith Clockwork Films presents. Oh, it's even signed by the filmmaker. Proud. The end.